Howdy there, compadres. Today we're gonna be talking about Call of Juarez, the Gunslinger. Now, if you don't know what this game is, it is the third game in the Call of Juarez series. It's the third game in the Call of Juarez series. And if this series is new to you, as it was to me, don't be surprised when you see that it's a Western FPS game and not the El Mexicano Call of Duty. Because I was like, hey man, am I going to be playing like Cheech and Chong? Be like, hey man, are my bullets okay? Oh man, somebody's going to come after me and say that's racist. Just because I'm quoting Cheech and Chong, that shit was hilarious. If you haven't seen Up in Smoke, go watch it. Great movie. But anyways, Call of Juarez Gunslinger follows the stories and the legends of this famous outlaw. Well, I don't know if he classifies himself as an outlaw, but he's a bounty hunter, and he did have some, like, run-ins with, like, Billy the Kid and hung out with him, so he's kind of an outlaw, kind of a bounty hunter. His name is Silas Graves. And old Silas starts off this whole game by going into a bar and sitting down and everybody taking note of this man. He looks scary, he looks edgy. And one kid from the back is like, hey, you're that Silas Graves. And he's like, yeah, boy, I am. And he's like, I read in a Penny Dreadful you used to hang out with Billy and the Kid. And he's like, you got that from a Penny Dreadful? And it's very kind of funny, offhanded stuff. And the way the story plays out is he's telling these stories throughout his life. And it starts with how he became a bounty hunter and how he met Billy the Kid, or how he had a run-in with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And throughout the story, it has like these fun things where he'll like alter events. Like he'll go from like shooting Comanches, right? And he's like, oh wait, they weren't Comanches. They were outlaw Texas men. And then it would swap the people, or it would drop ladders down. And the whole thing comes off very playful, very tongue-in-cheek. And your whole time you're wondering, is he telling the truth? Is this guy full of, bullshit? I mean, you don't really know, right? He is just a guy telling a story in a bar. And the further he gets along in this story, and you kind of find out what drove him as this outlaw bounty hunter, the fact that his brothers were murdered by Ringo. Yes, the guy who Doc Holliday kills in Tombstone, old Val Kilmer, like, I'll be a huckleberry. Well, darling, you might as well be the devil. Stuff like that. Well, he didn't actually kill Ringo. It was Silas motherfricking Graves, because he comes in like, what? I'm Silas Graves. I kill people sometimes with guns. Like, that's something I do. It's just stuff like that. And I really like the art style of this game, too. It's got a very Borderlands-esque aesthetic, but it's not Borderlands. It doesn't ever feel like that. It just has that shell shading, you know what I mean? And forever, Borderlands will have the cue in. They're cued in whenever I see a game with shell shading, even though it's nothing like it. It's just going to be like, I'm going to think of your game even if you're nothing alike. They won the art style wars when it comes to that. It's like when you're playing a side scroller and you have to go back and get something. Oh, it's a Metromania. Whoa, we can't be original. Anyways, I know, look at me saying that when I'm doing it right now. Being unoriginal. Shoot me in the penis. Oh my gosh. But on to, the gameplay. One of the big standouts of this game is the gunplay. First and foremost, the game likes to really focus on, a lot of times, dual-wielding pistols, but when you do branch out into the other weaponry, it feels fun to use. Now, the shotguns were never my favorite in the game. I felt like they were, I don't know, I have to be, fully in shotguns or not in shotguns at all, and most of the times I'm going to be the guy that sits back or uses the more fast-paced shooting, because I want to be up in their face, bam, and then when I go into an area, I want to pick off some people so that I can really get those maneuvers on people. I don't know. I really like the pistols the best in this game, but when I did use something else, it was mostly the rifle. But the shotgun worked pretty good. I mean, it had that Western aesthetic, and it felt Western. I didn't put anything into my little, skill trees, because this game does have, a skill tree system, and it's really well made. Go back to the beginning of the video sometime and look at how that skill tree system's laid out, because I think I put it at the beginning of the video. There might be more of it in here, but come on, guys. I would rather show you cool explosions, cool fucking blooms, instead of, skill tree shit. That shit's boring to me. You can figure it out on your own. Go have fun with killing people. Especially when the only real benefit to the skill tree, I mean, yes, it does build your character, but it also gives you different weapons, and that's where it builds the weapon variety, because the whole game breaks down to pistols, pistol, shotgun, rifle, and that's it. So you basically, the change in pistols and stuff is just by upgrading the skill tree, and you get a new gun that does better damage. And so that's all I really need to talk about on it, really. I mean, what's cool about this game is just The battle encounters are so amazing. This game's level design is so much fun. It's arcade style shooting. The shooting feels fucking amazing. Like, absolutely freaking great. And the only gripe I really had with this game is when you start taking damage. Do you see that effect that happens on screen? If you take, like, more than 2 shots when you're, like, not paying attention, you have no idea what's going on around you. It's like looking through, like, a cum-filled bag, right? You stretch it, you press it out because you still can't see through it, and it's just all smudgy, and you want to put, like, windshield wipers in the bag, but then you're like, why do I have a bag full of semen? This is disgusting. But yeah, no, the gunplay, as it says, is really fun. It's got this really cool, like, slow motion effect where you can just, like, pick a bunch of people off screen, which is so much fun. This game's, like moment-to-moment combat is a selling point for me. It really is. This game, when I started playing it, I was like, yes, yes. Daddy likey and daddy wet. That's how I feel every time I was firing a gun in this game. And every time I did one of the cool, like, oh, I'm going to highlight all the guys, make them red, do the slow motion. Yes, I want it. I want it so bad. It tastes good on my lips. That's how I feel when I'm doing the gunplay in this game. Just shooting my shot all over the place. And right here was a great example of just, like, insane. You get to the stagecoach because you're hunting down Bob, and you're like, oh, looks like shit might not be going my way. And then all of a sudden, you get these cool moment where it, like, pulls you in and you do, like, this button mash thing where you just murk people. And those happen every so often, and every time it's cool, man. It fucking slaps balls. It slaps clit. It slaps clit! That's how I feel about this. And, like, I'm, like, getting surrounded by all these bad guys that are Comanches. And this is the part where it was like, oh, well, they weren't actually Comanches. And they, like, swap it up on you, which I thought was hilarious. But, like I said, the main thing of this game breaks down to these cool shootouts. Like, you just saw that the fucking red shootout there was so cool. And your grenades are dynamite, and you can actually shoot dynamite out of the sky and blow it up on people. I had trouble with that. I mean, it happened a couple times where it worked, and I was like, oh, cool. But most of the time, I was just popping heads so fast that they never got a chance to throw dynamite because I'm better than them. And I could use my cool slow motion red zone. And another really cool thing that they actually added in this game is when you run out of ammo on one gun, you can fire the one gun till it's done. And I know most shooters do that. So before you come in the comments like, most shooters can do that. I like the way it worked in this game. So it can be either left or right, and you have those cool animations, and the animations made it feel different, god damn it. And talking about my comments, like and subscribe to the video right now, baby. Like and subscribe, mother trucker, because I am coming at it with that good. I got that stroke fest going on. Damn it, I said more sus shit again. Anyways, comment on my video, make that algorithm suck me. But anyways, back to, like, this guy's story. Everything was so engaging because, like, each section has to do with, like, some of the most iconic stories from the West, whether it be Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid or Tombstone or Billy the Kid. It's all all important historical Western things, but you're seeing it through the eyes of this legend that I don't think ever really existed. And along the way, you'll pick up, like, cards and stuff that actually have little historical treats, little tasty notes of history. And I'm a sucker for fucking history. So every time I found one, I was excited. And it has the pictures of the real outlaw that it's portraying in the game. Most of the time they look nothing like them, but the fact that they would show what the real one looked like, and they're like, yeah, but we're taking our own artistic direction on this. You gotta remember, we're a video game and this is lore. Like, let us make our own artistic choices, motherfucker. For real, my friend. But yeah, the boss fights in this game are another real highlight. I like this one with Cody or Curly Bill, iconic Curly Bill. It's a very fun boss fight. You got the little bullet dodge thing, which is another cool move you have when you get shot at. You have this gauge that fills up, and in high intensity situations, you can use the joystick to dodge the bullets, which super fun. Super fucking gangster. I mean, it's the Matrix combined with Red Dead Redemption meets gun meets suck my dick. That's how this game it just fucking oozes a greatness. It oozes fucking cool in every moment. Like I said, the combat in this game was so good. That being said, I do have some gripes. I have some issues with the game. And it's not just the status effect that happens over your screen when you get shot. Where I really had a big issue with this game is, one, it's not very long. I think this game took me like 3 hours to beat, or like 4 hours. I don't know, it wasn't very long. I felt like I pushed through it in like one night, and that left me wanting more of this. And I bought Call of Juarez, the first game, and it doesn't feel as good as this game does. This game feels way on another level when it comes to terms of like gameplay and gunplay and all the good juicy stuff that makes you want to dive into that pussy, right? This game has it, but the original Call of Juarez really doesn't. I hear that the story of the first game's way better, but I haven't played it, so I can't give you that yet. But that's one huge gripe I had with this game. I wanted this story to keep going, and it does let you choose different things that affect the ending. It's not a lot, but you can make choices at the end of the game, which decides how the ending goes. But I felt like this felt more like a DLC than an actual full-fledged game, even though everything in this game was nothing else, or nothing like the other two games, because I didn't even buy the Cartel or whatever, because I heard that game, like, sucks wiener. There you go, you gotta see my upgrade screen again. I'm a fucking great YouTuber. I foreshadowed the foreshadowing future, you cocksuckers. Wait, what was the thing from Deadwood? You limberdick cocksucker. God, I loved Deadwood. If you haven't watched Deadwood, great show. I think they pulled it off HBO, but I don't know. Or maybe that was Westworld. I don't know. One of the Westerns got pulled. Now, here's my next gripe with this game, and this is a big one, a huge one. These fucking duels can suck my asshole. Get in my goddamn starfish and suck. I don't even want that ever to happen to me. I don't want anybody to touch my butthole. I'm barely like toilet paper touching my butthole. But this shit sucks. It's garbage, and you die so many times doing it. Like, oh yeah, sometimes you can dodge and it makes it cooler. But if you pull the trigger first, oh no, you killed him dishonorably. What bullshit is that? It's crap. A duel, it's whoever clears leather first wins. It's not who starts to draw first. It's who clears leather first. I learned that from my pal Marty Robbins in Big Iron. I've learned that in Western movies. It's whoever pulls it first wins. In this game, if you pull first, you killed him unhonorably. The only way to kill a man unhonorably is by shooting him in the back, and you're fucking squaring off with them. So, eat my goddamn nut cheese, game. It's so irritating. Each one of these duels, and the worst part about them too is they slow the game down to a crawl, because the way they work is you use the right joystick to angle on their body, right? And you want it to get on an area and then let it stop moving the joystick so it zooms in. And then you use the left joystick to hover your fucking hand over the pistol's handle, because you don't know where it is, so your hand just goes all fucking willy-nilly. And then you watch the two percentages try to get as high as they possibly can, so when you pull the gun, you hit your fucking target easier, and they're stupid. It's not fun. And by the third game, you should have figured out that one of the biggest gripes I saw online with this is those duels. Like, you couldn't have figured something out that made it fun. Like, but pulling first, you lose. It's stupid. You should be honorable if you just win the duel. They should have made, like, it'd be a quick time event or something. It would have been more fun than the shit that they made me go through. And each one of these ruins the gameplay experience. Not completely. The gameplay isn't ruined completely, but it takes this really fun, fast-paced, gunslinging bounty hunter game to this weird, like, bullshit number game, because it's not about the duel. You're worried about your percentages going into it, and it turns this fun game into a slog in the matter of seconds. In these moments that should feel tense, should feel cool, they just don't. You just get irritated and you want to fucking, like, break your TV. And the worst part about it is, the first time I bought this game, I bought it on the Switch because I wanted some stuff to play when I was on the airplane. And these goddamn duel sections ruined the game for me. I almost didn't want to play it again, but I bought it on Xbox thinking, okay, the joysticks on the Switch are like watching like an incel find the clit, right? It's just awful. They're feeding around. They're like, oh, women are bitches. And I'm like, whoa. It's not my fault you were inexperienced sexually. Go back to 4chan. And I go to play it on the Switch. It's garbage because the joystick sucks, so I get it on the Xbox, and it's marginally better. It's still a garbage gameplay element, and it sucks because those should be the moments. Those should be the moments that make the game feel epic. But instead, it's these moments. It's all the rest of the game. It's like you didn't need to make these tense moments, at like 10 of them in a game. I don't know how many were in there exactly, but it was a lot. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, you're just not good. Get good, pussy-ass bitch. I bet you don't even kiss your girlfriend's pussy with that pussy-ass mouth. And I'm like, God, dude, it's not about the difficulty here. They annoyed me because they slowed down the gameplay. They annoyed me because they felt out of place. They didn't fit the rest of the vibe. And that's the problem with them. Because at the end of the game, I had them down to a science. I was doing the fucking joystick autism. Like, I was making sure my numbers were fucking precise. I was going through it like fucking Russell Crowe in the movie where he does the numbers, whatever that fucking shit's called. But I had it down to a science, but it just never felt good. It never felt fun. It just slowed down the experience to the crawl, and I was just so irritating and wanted over with that. I don't know. I wanted to go back to this bouncy, blasty fun time, because like I had yet to play a game that I mean, I don't even know what the numbers mean. It just was flashy and it was cool. My fucking like brain was going off the charts with this game, like 100% firing on all levels. I'm over 9,000, bitches, over 9,000 whole time going down to a crawl, and that sucks. I mean, especially when if they would have made this game longer, given me way more of these type of moments, way more stuff like this for another 3 hours, made the story a little, like, even though the story is peak, it's a really, really good story. And I know that I hate being the guy that, because I don't want every game to be 40 hours. I like a shorter experience. That way I can get videos out to you and I don't have to like make 8 in a row just to keep up with my fucking push out schedule, and then I can play an RPG or something. But I don't want these long 40-hour experiences. I don't mind a 10-hour, 5-hour experience, but when it's a 3-hour game, it's just like, I don't justify this game being at full cost, right? I see, oh, if it's on $2, $3, $5 for sale, sure, fine. If it's $10 sale, fine. But when it's like $25 or whatever the game is, it's too much. It should cost what a movie costs, because that's the distance of the game. I mean, especially if we look at like the Zack Snyder Justice League, that shit was like 8 hours. All kidding aside, though, this game was an absolute banger of an experience, and I hope everybody gets a chance to play it. I've been King Jiffy Coats. This has been a fun video to make, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.
Dale, won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see, with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray, could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death, oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?